WNY watercooler.com.
You know where the fuck you are? You in the jungle, baby! Wake up! Time to die!
Coast.
Basically a disaster, pretty low, because when you look at her and when you see the mind is weak. I don't see it. I don't get it. I never understood. How does she even get on television?
Steve.
You ain't shit. You not shit.
Playoffs?
Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Another game.
Don't talk about playoffs.
Welcome back, WNYWaterCooler.com podcast. We got me, Steve, the host. Subscribe to us on iTunes, and I don't even know if iTunes is real anymore. I don't know what it is, Apple Store or those other places, the other venues where we are.
Yeah, please subscribe. We need to, increase our
Spotify, YouTube. We're there too, and we got Coast.
Yeah. What's up, Janrak?
Seems like that Chiefs game was a long time ago. We won, right? Bills won.
Of course, we own Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Allenhead.
Yeah, Allenhead, Missouri.
Yeah, that's right. 4 in a row there.
If you don't count the playoffs, I guess.
I mean, that was a win. He won that game. Didn't go down as a win in the win column, but I'm giving it to him.
Yeah, the game was. I thought we were going to handily defeat them, but of course that never happens. The Bills scored 0 points in the second half, or
6,
2 field goals.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like even with the Philly game, we were like one play away from blowing it open. The Chiefs game, we were up 14-0 with the ball, and Allen throws that pick on third down, and then KC drives and scores right away. Philly game, we were up double digits twice, and just every time we were up double digits, we just couldn't get that one stop or that one big play, which would have really blown the game open. So, but I mean, watching the game, it seemed clear who the better team was. The right team won. I know the end was weird. I don't know if we're going to get into it, but I think the right team won.
Yeah, I didn't think the Chiefs played that well. I mean, they didn't have their running back, but I mean, did Pacheco really matter that much?
No, I don't think so. I mean, that's how their offense has been all season. They don't score 20 points. I don't know how many games, they've had where they haven't scored more than 2 TDs in a lot of games. And it was, a similar story for them as it's been much of the year.
Yeah, they barely used Rice. I mean, they used Kelsey, but I mean, he's kind of hurt and he's getting old.
Exactly. It's 34. What can you expect?
It feels kind of like what the Patriots did for years. They thought they didn't have to invest in weapons for Brady, and then ended up biting him in the ass. Oh, I mean, they won the Super Bowl last year, so it's okay, they got rid of Hill and it still worked, but I don't know.
Fortuitously, but yeah, they dimped on receiver. They thought that they didn't need. I mean, it worked like you said last year, but they at least had Smith-Schuster, who knew how to play NFL wide receiver.
Yeah,
so these guys, yeah.
Kadarius Toney. They gave up a second-round pick for him too.
Crazy, yeah. So I mean, there's a reason why the Giants were just eager to get rid of him, and I mean, the whole thing. Let's get it out of the way now. They threw the flag immediately, and the guy was offsides. There's really no complaint. If they would have called a different pre-snap penalty, illegal formation or ineligible man, those are other penalties that don't impact the play, really. Would there have been the same sort of complaint? I thought the Chiefs embarrassed themselves. Mahomes, I thought it was a joke how they reacted.
Yeah, it was embarrassing. I mean, yeah, okay, it's the heat of the moment or whatever, but for fuck's sake, you get every call.
Exactly. Have some humility. I mean, just think about how fortunate you've been with calls late in games, in Super Bowls, in AFC title games, and countless other games. And then one time it like doesn't go your way because your receiver is incompetent and you like that type of reaction, the way he was complaining to Allen. I mean, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, I mean, one team loses and one team wins every single game. He couldn't lose one game on a correct call.
Allen was like, "All right, bro. Like, what was he supposed to say?" He's like,
he's like embarrassed for him. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
yeah. He just gave him the chest tap and like walked away.
Yeah, I mean, there's like multiple minute long videos of just Chiefs getting call after call after call. I mean,
yeah, you retweeted one I saw this week that I thought was pretty funny. I mean, there's just so many.
I mean, the Super Bowl alone, like you alluded to, the Super Bowl call, which gave him the Super Bowl, and it was such a weird play. And of course, on Frank Wycheck like dying day, but there's still over a minute left, and didn't we I think we had a timeout or two. Three.
Yeah, there was like, I know it's shocking, but the time wouldn't have really been an issue for us. Like, no one is even acknowledging that fact. Like, there was a minute 20 left, and we had 3 timeouts. Like, obviously we would have had a chance to win, but yeah, the whole sequence, not a good look for KC. I think part of it is probably they realize they're just not very good. And, I'm just glad it worked out in our favor for once. It would have just been another. I mean, can you imagine if we lost and they had on a game-winning,
I don't even want
to like lateral play?
I mean, it's sickening. And I was stuck at home watching it with the family, and I was like, snap. But what was more shocking was they called that catch. They called the catch by Murray. Lat Murray. I could not believe that play stood. No. I mean, I was like shocked.
Watching it live, they called it a catch live, which is kind of remarkable. Because watching it live, it was like, it seemed like he just like dropped it in the, like, you see guys bring it into their body and just drop it like right away. Like that happens. But like he caught it and took like 3 steps before he tried to like tuck it away.
Yeah.
It was just weird. Yeah, I thought for sure. And then they showed the replay. I'm like, I don't really know. But the funny thing is about that, like that was Allen's best play of the game, was a sweep play. We literally had negative yards on that drive. So, like after we got that completion, we went backwards, like 30 yards before we ended up punting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the offense. It's like the first half, the offense is looking great. They're giving the ball to Cook, and then they inexplicably stop giving it to him. And I mean, Diggs was nowhere to be found. 13 is just useless. He's just like a dead corpse out there. I mean, that's redundant, but he's just a corpse out there. The one time he's just running around like a deer in a field, no one around him. Allen doesn't even look his way, which I don't really blame him, but
yeah, I think there's obviously like he's not a reliable target. I mean, Allen's getting shit, which maybe rightfully so, but like I'm sure Allen trusts Kincaid more. So I don't know. I mean, who knows where Davis was in the progression, whatever. But I think in the second half, the Chiefs D-line like just really took over. They seemed to be dominating. Whereas in the first half, like we were able to run the ball, like you said, Cook, and it just seemed like that kind of swung. So I don't know. It could be part of it is, I don't know. Yeah, but it seemed like their D-line.
Well, the Chiefs good. I mean, the Chiefs are good. They have one of the best D linemen, 95 in the league. So
yeah. So, but all in all, I thought we played pretty good for the most part and got the job done. And now things are wide open.
It seemed like almost everything went our way, Bill's way for the playoff scenarios. I mean, even the Dolphins game, which was just insane. That end, the fourth quarter, there was 31 points scored or something, maybe even more than that. Like I'm just like, okay, I changed the game when the Dolphins went up 14, and luckily that Giants game was close till the end, or I would have probably went to bed. And then I saw they're only down 7, and then I saw the Dolphins punt. Titans just walked down the field in 3 plays. I mean, I thought the Dolphins defensive coordinator was like the biggest genius of all geniuses.
Yeah, I mean, how can you take a team seriously that gives up 2 touchdown drives in the last 4 minutes to Will Levis in at home? I don't know. I mean, there's some Miami missing the playoffs potential now. It's just a crazy season. It really is.
Yeah, like if the Jets somehow beat them, it'd be wild.
But even if, say, they win, that gets them to 10 wins if they beat the Jets, they can lose out and finish 10-7. And we beat them, we finished 10-7. We win the division, they could be out.
Which would be amazing. That'd be just hilarious. I mean,
it would be hilarious.
McDaniel, people like loving this guy. Didn't they fall apart last year too?
They did, but they had a lot of injuries last season. That's the only difference. But they lost they barely made the playoffs last year. I think they had to barely beat.
Yeah, they did. They lost a quarterback and shit. But I mean, this year they had the one DN. Their DN is out, but seemingly big injuries every other week.
Yeah. In the Jets game, I don't know, man. I think it's going to be bad weather, and
it's in New York, right?
No, it's in Miami, but I think there's maybe going to be a ton of rain. I forget, but it's Hill's not 100%.
I mean, he hasn't practiced all week. I wouldn't be surprised if they sat him for a week, but
that would probably be the smart thing to do, but
they probably won't do that.
Yeah, so that game's not a guarantee.
I mean, it's still spreads 8.5 or 9, but and then we have the Cowboys coming into our barn, which I mean, the Cowboys. I don't have a read on this game. I mean, it's not a good take to have for a podcast about the game. I honestly don't know. I mean, for some reason the Cowboys are always on. So, well, I know why, but so they're always on. So I am subjected to watching all their games. And they seemingly play at home every week. They do, yeah. They played 5 of their last 7 at home.
Yeah, they have a weird schedule. Now they've
won 5 in a row. On the road. Yeah, 3. Yeah, so they're 3-3 on the road, and the teams they beat: Chargers, Panthers, and Giants. I mean,
yep.
They lost to the freaking Cardinals.
Giants week 1, Cardinals they lost to. Chargers it was 20-17, so not exactly. I mean, they're averaging 20 points per game on the road and 40 at home.
Yeah.
So
which is drastic. I mean, McCarthy with a loud crowd.
I mean, you would expect there to be some difference, but not that much. And why is that happening? I don't know. I mean, this coach and quarterback have been. It's not like just one season of them being questioned in big games, in big moments, especially not at home.
Yeah, I mean, but although they do have a great record in December, I heard someone talking about that stat, but I mean, you still watch them and they seemingly choke.
Yeah, I mean, but they're good. I mean, they got a ton of talent on offense. They got a defensive line a pass rush that is, formidable, and maybe it's one of the best pass
their
offense. In the league.
Yeah, they have playmakers on defense. I mean, that Duran dude did 5 pick sixes.
Yeah, but he gave up I think it was the Seattle game. He allowed 170 yards receiving or something.
Yeah, he was he was guarding DK Metcalf on that 70-yard touchdown, and then there's another one.
Well, so they just allowed 35 points at home to the Seahawks, and their defense. I think there's going to be plenty of opportunity for us to put up some serious output against their defense.
People talk about their team. Yeah. They have all these weapons. I don't see the receivers as. I mean, Lamb is elite. He's a great player. But the other guys they have, Ferguson, their tight end, he has 51 catches. Their next receiver is Cooks, he's banged up. He's always banged up. But he only has 39 catches. Gallup has 31.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I mean that's why Dak's the MVP favorite right
Dak's
now.
playing great. Well, that's my whole thing is I don't know how great their weapons really are. I mean, Cooks he can make plays. He's an explosive player, but he's not a player I'm scared of. No. He'll make his 1 or 2 plays, or he'll drop it, or he might get hurt. I mean, but yeah, Dak
Dak's just
Or
Dak's
kids.
playing at a. I hear you. Don't worry about it. Dak's playing at an MVP level, and whether he can do that on the road is to be determined. I think it's really a great spot for us to play them. They're coming off the Philly win, which was their biggest game of the season. Now they're coming on the road, and it's going to be crazy there tomorrow.
It's going to be an interesting atmosphere. I don't know. I'm kind of
really.
I think there's going to be a lot of Cowboys fans.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be, but it's what 10,000, 15,000.
Yeah,
Probably
but
about
the funny thing is, last 2 years or so, there hasn't been too many games where the opposing fans were really a large contingent.
Yeah.
So this might be one of the rare ones. But I mean, if the Bills get up 10 points or so, I mean, Dallas certainly could come back, but it could drown out any Cowboys fans. But
yeah, I mean, we played. I mean, Miami was on top of the world when they came into Buffalo earlier in the season. Now Dallas is in like that same boat.
yeah,
Like, best team playing the best football of any team in the league, maybe besides San Fran. However many wins in a row, they're scoring 1 million points. But, all the pre-snap stuff, like everyone says, oh, Dak, he's, pre-snap is where he's so good. It's a lot harder to do that when you're playing on the road.
yeah.
So I think
the
that,
Eagles, we played them when they were hot as hell. I mean, we lost to them, but since they beat us barely, or luckily, I mean, a 59-yard field goal. Luckily,
dude,
they've lost 2 in a row since then. But
and we were definitely the better team in that game. I mean, we had like 150 more yards. We had 2 missed field goals. They made a 60-yarder. They had that miracle mini Hail Mary to Zacharoo, whatever. Like, it was a crazy loss. So, yeah, right. So, I mean, I like it. It's definitely a letdown spot for Dallas. And they have to go to Miami next week. They're probably just thinking, all right, we got to get one of these two. I mean, they're kind of screwed for the division anyways. So
yeah, with the way that the Eagles' schedule is and their schedule, they had the emotional big win last week, but really, I mean, most people that actually pay attention still don't see them as the division winners. So
no, right, exactly. So yeah, they need Philly to lose to Seattle, basically, which could happen, but.
yeah.
I just think I think I welcome this up. The team coming off the big divisional win in a non-conference road game. It's like a good spot for the home team, I feel like.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of surprised at the spread only being 1.5. Total 49, 1.5. And it started out pick'em or even Cowboys are favored. I'm surprised
it was up to 2.5 at one point.
Yeah, so it's been fluctuating, maybe because of the forecast. Although I don't know. I mean, rain. The Eagles game, there was tons of rain, and both teams went up and down the field. I mean, if it's not going to be windy, rain could cause some fumbles and shit. But I don't think it's really drastically cuts scoring down.
Yeah, it's right. Exactly. It's gonna be warm. It's not gonna be overly windy. It's not supposed to be like a washout, right? I mean, I haven't looked, but. If anything, I think that type of weather helps us, I think. So, I just maybe I'm totally wrong on this, but I feel like the Dallas offense is I don't know if they're like the muck it up type of team, whereas Allen, I don't think there's many conditions that can like deter him. So we'll see. We'll see on that. Forecast is calling for a little bit of wind, I guess. Who knows? It's going to be 50 degrees. That's ridiculous.
Oh, it's going to be a great day. What time are you getting there? Noon?
12:30.
12:30?
I did look at tickets.
Oh, they're astronomical. Because of the Cowboy factor. I mean, they've gone down a little bit, but.
Yeah, but you're still looking at, if you want to sit in the lower bowl, it's going to be.
Lower bowl. Oh, I forget you're part of the high society. I always forget that for some reason.
I mean, dude, if I want to go to the game, people go, you go to the game to tailgate and whatever. I want to watch the game, That's why I would go. I don't want to sit in the corner upper deck. Even those are going to be $150, $200 a ticket. So,
yeah.
Either way, it's.
I hear you.
Maybe the Pats game. 1 p.m. Today's a big slate for us too.
Yeah, it's weird that today's Saturday. We're recording this Saturday, so I mean, Yeah, all 3 games on Saturday matter, but a couple of the games before the Bills game matter. So all of it's pretty much going to be known before the Bills game kicks off, which is interesting.
Yeah, so we have the first game, Cincy, Denver. We need those teams to lose some games. But we got Cincy the first game playing Minnesota. What's this? Is that one? Where's that game? In
It's
Minnesota?
in Cincy. No, it's in Cincy.
Oh, it's in Cincy, and so Cincy's favored by 3, and it's Minnesota changed QBs. It's kind of funny. They
Nick
trade for
Mullins is
Josh
playing.
Dobbs. They trade for Dobbs, and everyone's like, "Oh, Dobbs is amazing! Like all these teams could have like he's third string now. Like I don't even know if he's active.
Yeah,
It's just kind of funny.
it's very strange how that season's gone, and they have a good record too. So I mean, they're in pretty bad division.
They're in but they're in like the 7th seed. They control their own destiny for the NFC North.
They could. Oh yeah, well, because the Lions are the Lions. That team. I mean, people like Tyler Dunn comes out and says, "Oh yeah, look at Dan Campbell's of the world and Mike McDaniel's of the world," and they both lay an egg against bad teams.
That guy
Dan Campbell. I'm Dan Campbell. I'm supposed to think like Dan Campbell is some like genius guy. I don't know.
I didn't think I did. Did he really? He put something in his McDermott hit piece about like those guys are like what you want in a coach.
I mean, I didn't read it all, but they both were name checked as like up and coming like guys that they're like the opposite of McDermott or something. I don't know.
So, I mean, Campbell's been the Lions coach for 3 seasons. This is his 3rd season. He hasn't made it to playoffs. McDermott made the playoffs in his 1st and 3rd seasons. It's this Dunn article. I mean, not only has it changed my mindset like a ton. Like I'm right back on the McDermott train now, but I just can't imagine someone touting Dan Campbell as like he's never done anything in the league. It's crazy. So, I mean, give me a break. Guy ruined his career.
I don't see him like anyone on the Bills' current roster. I can't imagine they would ever want to talk to this guy. I mean, whether the players on the current team like McDermott or not, you still have to respect him because he's been a winner. I mean, he's gotten most of these players to the playoffs before. They're in a decent shape now to make the playoffs again. You've won the division 3 years in a row. I don't know. I can't imagine the players really are too receptive to someone like bashing this guy because he told a odd, stupid story or analogy last decade.
Crazy, yeah. If anything, it might have, sort of they can use it, galvanize them. Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, it was just a straight up hit piece. And now, did Tim Graham write something about Diggs this week, or did I imagine that?
I don't know. I don't follow Tim Graham, and I don't have the Athletics.
I thought
there was something that came out yesterday. Something came out Friday about because his production's down, but I don't know.
Like Diggs said, it's not because of him or something. But again, it's another like these guys. These Tim Graham, he always does it. These guys are just looking to like trash the team in any way they can to get people to click on their stuff, and it's just. I don't know, but you're right. Like McDermott's win-loss record, his success in the play. I mean, he hasn't won the Super Bowl, but he's won playoff game. I mean, how many teams have won a playoff games 3 straight years?
There's just the Bills and Chiefs have played in the second round in the last 3 years.
So yeah, like he's blown it in big games. We've talked about it. He's seems to choke, but like he's won playoff games. He's had 3 straight division titles. His regular season record is. I mean, he's got to have. I mean, obviously, he's got probably the best like winning percentage in the history of the franchise. So, I just think that it's
Well, it's definitely weird that I'm even sort of defending McDermott. I mean, I never the fear of the unknown of who would replace him. But like, you can't. I think we've talked about it already. Can you really next year bring in a first-time head coach? I think that would be tough to accept. Or
yeah, You're right. You're rolling the dice, and I don't know. I think they would have had to like collapse and finish like 7-10 for him to get fired. And now
Yeah, I
you
don't.
just kind of don't. Now you see almost as 9 wins as a bare minimum. They're
Yeah,
going to be
I don't.
favored by 12 plus in LA and probably the same against the Pats. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's
I don't see that. I don't. I mean, yeah. Other than 8 and 9, I didn't see him firing him anyway, and I don't see it now. I don't think Terry Pagula thinks something like that is really like
yeah, he's got his own stuff.
he knows him. I mean, he's got to be there like every week. He's known Sean McDermott for a long time. I don't
Yeah,
know.
and right, and then when you're writing an article and every single one of your sources like are former employees, like it's just it's hard to be taken seriously. I don't know. I can't stand that dude. Hope is I don't know,
I didn't
man.
like
I don't
Tyler
know.
Dunn in the summer when he wrote basically wrote the same thing.
Well, he
So
said that the window was closed and stuff, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's the stuff people want to read drama,
yeah.
and so yeah, I don't know. Obviously we need Minnesota. This Indy Pittsburgh game's a little bit I don't know. Do we
The
know
idea
we
that the
need to win
Colts.
that one?
I mean, it's probably want Pittsburgh to win because they're going to lose other games. But to think that the Colts will get in the playoffs and somehow maybe the Bills wouldn't is just like sickening. I mean, it's got to be sickening to like Goodell. I mean,
Yeah. Pitt, they're both 5-4 in the conference too, but Pitt's remaining schedule is
it's tough where
Cincy,
they play.
Seattle,
Yeah.
and Baltimore. But Baltimore could be resting guys. And then Indy's
Well,
remaining schedule is Atlanta, the Raiders, and Texans. So, I mean, they could lose. These teams are so bad they could lose literally any game they play. So it's like, they have 4 games left. They're both probably going to go 2-2, and that'll put them at 9-8. So, are we really going to be confident either of these teams goes 3 out of 4? I don't know. They both. I mean, neither of them are good.
the team just better be ready to play on Sunday. The Bills. I mean, control you can control at this point. I just think
Yeah.
this is a game that I had circled as a win. I mean, the Cowboys. If we were playing in Dallas right now, I would say we'd almost certainly lose. But their splits of road and home, and it's going to be outdoors. It's not going to be freezing, but it's going to be cold, especially for Cowboys players that they haven't played in the cold all year.
Yep.
I mean, it's going to affect them. The Bills should come out and win by 4 to 7 points, I would say at least. But
Yeah, man, I think the blowout possibility's there too. I really do. I think that there could be a Chiefs a Dolphins sort of type game where we come out flying. I mean, we have the last 2 games, and like I said, I feel like we've been that close to blowing these teams out, and we just like kind of just get out.
I didn't see that in the last 2 games, but the other part of it is though. I mean, against the Dolphins, the Bills had everyone healthy. I mean, no Epinesa. That guy comes out and makes an
He does make big
all-time
plays.
great play, and then he's hurt like the next drive.
And Hyde's out too, which I'm not sure if that's even bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. From what I've read, like Rapp hasn't played well. I mean, no one's really studying safeties, and then you're gonna have Hamlin playing.
Yeah, Rapp hasn't. I've heard the same about Rapp, but like, how well has Hyde played? And I feel like it's one of those
I mean, he's
things
been on the
where-
field. Hasn't he been on the field for these Hail Mary back of the end zone touchdowns?
Yeah.
I mean,
he was covering Zacharui what the fuck's that? Whatever his name is, and Zacharias, and he was covering the dude for I want to say he was out there on the Sutton play too.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So-
thinking on the Sutton play. I
Yeah.
think he was out there. So
Right. So like I don't know how good, but Hyde's like one of those guys where I feel like you're not allowed to like say
question
anything
him.
bad about him in the press.
Because he's still a leader. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
But-
But the guy's like breaking down in front of our eyes. It's kind of sad to see.
yeah, he definitely is. I mean, third neck injury. I mean, I don't know what a stinger is other than a sub.
Neither
But
do I.
like a stinger, is that like a bones protruding out of your neck, or is it just like I don't know. I don't really know.
I truly have no idea what a stinger is. That's a great question.
I feel like it could mean anything. I thought a stinger is like you sit down for a quarter, you put a little heat pad on it, and then you're back out there. But I mean, he was taken in an ambulance last year with a neck injury, so.
Yeah, I guess his arm went like limp, like he couldn't move it or whatever. I don't know.
So it's like something's
So-
pinched.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know how much we're losing by. I mean, Hamlin played like 75% of the season last year, and I mean, was he atrocious? I don't know. He's
I mean,
also
I thought he was, but
I
then we
remember
couldn't say
us
anything
talking
because he
about
died. So.
Yeah, I mean, even still, it's hard to expect him to be even the same player after he died and came back to life. So I don't know, but I'm sure it's
Yeah, I
gonna
mean,
be wrapped. And
Jesus did it, so maybe Hamlin could too. I don't know.
yeah, I definitely remember us like just talking shit about Hamlin.
I never knew
like,
his
the
name.
week
I never
before.
knew his. I always would say
Yeah.
his name wrong. The podcast going into that game, I'm like, I'm concerned about this Hamler dude back there
Handler. He likes calling him
because you had a friend
but
named that
then,
last name thing, but
Hamlin. No, Hamlin. Whatever.
yeah.
We'll see though, man. 11-6 wins the East. Probably could be the 2 seed. That last game, that week 18 could be 2 seed or 8 seed on the line.
The whole NFL, like the Baltimore game, they should have lost. They win on a
Yeah.
punt return touchdown in overtime. I mean, it's just like the whole league. This is such a bad year for the Bills to like.
Miss the playoffs.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't
There's a
know.
lot of people that like a lot of the the Vegas people or the analytic people would tell you the Bills are the best team in the AFC. And
Yeah,
but
I mean,
you
last
yeah.
week before the game, people were saying to bet on the Bills to win the division, bet on the Bills to make the playoffs, and it was plus money. I mean, now to win the division's not that great a payout, but
like if the Bills are playing Baltimore on a neutral field, who's favored right now? I would guarantee the Bills are favored.
probably. I mean, recency bias. I mean, Baltimore. I don't know what happened to them. They fell apart in like that game, but they still ended up winning. But
Yeah, they're just I don't know. Yeah, and it's a little biased too because we've had success against Lamar, but I would not be afraid of playing Baltimore in a playoff game. I mean, there's no team now. It's like even Cincy. You almost feel like if we make the playoffs and don't win the division, that would have to mean Cincy is out. But that was the one team that I was like afraid of, and obviously you're not afraid of them now.
yeah, I mean, even still, this guy Browning has looked all
Been
right.
good.
But I mean, get this guy hit a couple times. I don't know. I mean, look at Stroud. I mean, everyone's sucking off Stroud, which he's amazing. He's the best quarterback. He's got so many yards. Well, he lays an egg against a bad team and then he gets a concussion. I mean, their season could be done. I mean,
Houston lost to Carolina.
yeah, I mean, I always held that up too. Is you guys can talk about Houston all you want. They lost to Carolina. I don't care how it happened. You still lost to Carolina. You lost to Frank Reich this year. That's bad.
We did lose to New England though, but that was before they were like tanking, and I don't know.
They didn't have all the injuries on defense, I don't think either. But I mean, that was still an embarrassing, pathetic loss.
So
But
totally embarrassing.
It was,
Just yeah. So
well, I'm picking the Bills to win this week. I'm not as confident as last week, but this week I'm taking the Bills 30-27.
I'm taking the Bills 38-21. I think we get up. I think we get up early. 17-0, maybe 20 to maybe like 24-7 at halftime or something like that. And I think it's similar to the Miami game. I guess McCarthy's got to prove it to me that he can go on the road in a hostile environment and play. Like, I mean, they've been so much worse on the road than at home that, I think it's a good setup for us. Letdown game for them. And maybe we're just gearing up at the perfect time after this whole crazy season. Maybe it ends up being
just like 2 years ago, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, our schedule was so hard, but now it's like if we can just get this game, we have like the easiest possible back-to-back stretch of games you can almost have.
Yeah, especially with the Chargers. Even with your boy Herbert, I still wasn't buying into them totally, but
No, Herbert's overrated. We talked about it. Herbert, Lawrence, Mahomes are like the three. You're not allowed to say anything bad.
Well, yeah. I mean,
even this week, anytime I heard someone even try to like criticize him, was like, Mahomes. I know he's the best quarterback in the league, but he might. It's like, come on, it's got to be caveated every time.
Well, truth hurts, but all right. Well, yeah, 4:00 game, so you gotta love that. We'll see you at the lots early.
A little late, but could be worse. All right, later.
Yeah.
Bills like Buffalo.
Go fuck yourself.
Shit, I'm all about the Bills like Thurman Thomas.
I don't tip, I pay bills. Bitches call me Buffalo.
Fuck it. Do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Hey, Peter.
Yeah.
Watch out for your cornhole, bud.
Okay, Lawrence.
This is Nathan